insurgents have become so emboldened under his watch. According to the statement issued on Saturday, the insurgents are now attacking military formations, kidnapping and killing the nation's gallant officers while overrunning communities and murdering our citizens without restraint. As representatives of the People, the Minority Caucus expressed regret that President Buhari's speech did not reflect on the kidnapping and killings of students in Nigeria. The Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria in Bauchi State, Reverend Abraham Damina, has charged journalists in the country to pressurize the federal government to publish the names of alleged sponsors and financiers of Boko Haram militants and other bandits oppressing Nigerians. He gave the charge on Sunday in a sermon at Bushara Baptist Church during a special church service to mark the 2021 Bauchi State Nigeria Union of Journalists Press Week. Demina expressed and explained that journalists can do that through accurate, fair, unbiased and factual news report, features, commentaries, opinions and editorials, noting that those are the only way to go about fighting the insurgency war. He said since it is in every public domain that the sponsors and financiers are known, a development the government has not denied, then the names should be made official and public so that Nigerians will know the faces of those who have endangered lives of citizens over the years. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project (SERAP) has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami to widely publish the names of those indicted in the alleged misappropriation of over 6 trillion naira in the running of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) between 2000 and 2019, as documented in the recent forensic audit report on NDDC. SERAP also urged him to direct Malami and appropriate anti-corruption agencies to promptly bring to justice anyone suspected to be responsible for the missing 6 trillion naira and to fully recover any misappropriated public funds. In the opening letter signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization said, and quote, "It is in the public interest to promptly publish the names of those indicted in the audit report and to ensure that they face prosecution as appropriate." Danger was averted in the early hours of today along Jakpa Road in Uvie local government area of Delta State, as some suspected internet fraudsters known as Yahoo Boys, who were said to be chased by policemen, rammed their car into a building which led to destruction of properties, but no life was lost. The policemen, who took to their heels after residents came out in their numbers to resist them from forcefully taking the car as a result of the damage to the shops, could not arrest the suspected Yahoo Boys, who escaped into the community. Despite several attempts by the divisional police officer of Ebremude police station to persuade the youth, the Toyota Lexus SUV was still inside the damaged building as at the time of filing this report. These are some of the eyewitness reports.
We had a serious noise and we all rushed out. When we came out, we saw this incident, and the report reaching us is that the policemen were after 4 boys. On their way from Alaka, they came to settle one issue here. So they went to drop their friend at Alaka. On their way back, they met police at the modern market at that godly hour. So they were scared. So they started running, and the police were after them. So this led to this accident.
2 times now, I had 2 police there. The police that don't come this morning. It was not be community. Therefore, they will carry this motor, carry the motor, go. But community no agree. Because if they carry this motor go now, all the others go waste. They don't give you stand for anything to do anything again.
I wish now, yeah, people they say many before now say this guy tell people could die before. When did the police or court say maybe I believe that they go to say maybe na coffee maybe they pursue them or maybe na coffee want to now I don't pursue them now. So when you pursue person reach you look at the person not the wrong kind speed, you leave her now you don't pursue now you don't run. If all of the court die before now, or my brother now so see my brother now I wish he dance before the enemy sort it happen. If you say now this one at the talk, nobody's on at the talk. I beg, I just the beg now. Anyone has cut up for me I call to am.
It's after the damage that you are after. So we are looking at, thank God that no life was lost at the first place. Then we want at least let this place be repaired. The person in charge of this place, which is my uncle's wife, let the person involved in this damage.
The Delta Police spokesperson Edafe Bright, when contacted, said the police will not want to be in any confrontation with the people, hence they tactically withdrew to avoid clashes. Operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have uncovered a hotel in Abuja where drugs are sold and young ladies camped for commercial sex. At least 4 persons, 3 ladies and a man, were arrested when the drug joint JHC suit was arrested. Investigations revealed that the hotel is operated without requisite approvals as a high-profile neighborhood and patronized by call girls, while the bar serves as a spot to smoke and sell drugs to the young girls and their customers. Chairman and Chief Executive of NDLEA, Mohammed Buba Marwa, has directed the FCT Command and the Directorate of Assets and Financial Investigations of the agency to do all within the law to ensure the property is forfeited to the federal government to serve as deterrent to others who allow their premises and businesses to be used for drug dealings. In the same vein, one Ms. Ozigbo Joy Neka has been arrested at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, while trying to export packs of codeine tablets weighing 15.15 kg to the United Kingdom last Wednesday. A day earlier, Tuesday, 21st September, narcotic officers of the airport also arrested one Nwajendu Ndubisi Emmanuel during inward clearance of Ethiopian airline passenger at the arrival hall. Some bottles of codeine weighing 5.65 kg were recovered from him. Also, 2 female Part 1 students in Edo State Polytechnic, Uzen Babalola Modupe Angel, age 19, and Ezekagbe Sonia, age 20, were arrested on Thursday, 23rd September, with 21 grams of skunk, while another lady, Chioma Okocha, age 25, was arrested the following day, Friday, 24 September, when she tried to deliver 200 grams of crack cocaine to a customer at an eatery in Benin. This is Galaxy Television News. Time for us to go for a break. When we come back, federal government advised to put in place a strong and effective regulatory system before considering legalizing the planting of cannabis sativa in the country. We'll bring you details of that and more when we come back. Stay with us. It is good to have you back. This is Galaxy Television News. For more updates and latest news, visit our website, galaxytvonline.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV Nigeria. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at official Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comments. The federal government has been advised to put in place a strong and efficient regulatory system before considering legalizing the planting of cannabis sativa in the country. The Edo State Chairman of Association of Community Pharmacists of Nigeria, ACPN, Otito Duke, gave the advice in Akure while answering questions from newsmen. According to him, cultivation of cannabis for medical use is good, but the regulatory aspect of it is key. He said it is sad that people employed to provide regulatory services in Nigeria are not efficient. Duke noted that regulation must be at par with cannabis before the country can venture into it. He added that cannabis is a commercial product like cocoa, which can serve as money-making venture for the government.
We should always try to get the good of everything. I know those who are probably not championing it. It's because probably of the kind of environment and the lack of weak regulatory services that we have both at national and state levels. I am of the school of thought that the regulators, the way they are today, should be given the jerk to wake up and to their regulatory functions.
Beneficiaries of the Anchor Borrowers Program in Ogun State said the program aimed at ensuring food security and job security is no scam. They made this known shortly after 100 beneficiaries received 100 hectares of land at the Ikene Farm Settlement in Ikene, Ogun State. Correspondent John Felix now reports.
The Ikene Farm Settlement is one out of the 7 locations for the program. The Ogun State government and Central Bank of Nigeria has linked the third batch beneficiaries of Anchor Borrowers program to land and mechanization at Ikene Farm Settlement. Following the linkage, no fewer than 7,000 youths in Ogun State have benefited from the Central Bank Anchor Borrowers Agricultural Program through the Cassava Intervention Project by the state government. The beneficiaries, with the heart of thanks to the state governor, Dakpo Abiodun, say the program is real.
I'm really happy today to be one of the beneficiaries because it's not been an easy journey all the way. It's been quite a long time now, where a lot of people have lost hope that the program is a scam, saying so many things. But it's a wonderful thing that today I'm among the beneficiaries, and I really want every other farmers to know that this program is real. It's no scam, contrary to what we've been hearing for like over a year now.
I never believed that something like this can actually be done by any government in this country. This is my first time of witnessing this. I want to tell everybody that this thing is actually real. And I'm surprised. Like, I can tell anybody that yes, our governments are actually, most especially the Ogun government, they are actually working. And I'm saying it like I can go now and tell people that yes, I've seen what is really working in the country. Like people used to say, nothing work, nothing will. Go to Ogun State, come to Ogun State, you're going to see what is actually working.
Commissioner for Agriculture, Dr. Adeola Odelino, says 100 hectares for 100 beneficiaries has been cleared for a smooth kickoff. He says the beneficiaries will be exposed to technology and climate-smart agriculture. He adds that the Dakpo Abiodun's administration's resolve to ensure food security and youth empowerment is on course.
So the governor cleared land for them in about 16 locations. We are in Ikene now, and we have cleared 100 hectares of land. So CBN is in charge of giving out money and preparing the land. That is plowing, harrowing, and ridge. So the beneficiary from Ikene, they are here now with the service provider from CBN. They've cleared the land, they've harrowed, and they are planting mechanically in the presence of the youth so that they take charge of their land and the planted feed and make money. It's promise kept for Anchor Borrowers. So if you are still in doubt for that is Anchor Borrowers not working or not, we are here now with 100 youth and stakeholders in Ikene. From here we are moving to other 7 locations. That's why we are here today, because this is the linkage program promised by the governor of Ogun State for young people and every stakeholder who want to make money from agriculture.
No, the first thing they will register And after they register, we look at their BVN. If they are qualified, they will credit the account. It says, I will advise them to be honest and be sincere, because there's no place they can run to. Because of the BVN, they will catch them. So they should be honest and sincere with whatever thing they are doing.
The State House of Assembly Committee on Agriculture commends the efforts made so far, with a pledge to support all agricultural programs of the state. From Ikenne in Ogun State, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
Government at all levels in Nigeria have been advised to encourage ICT education through the review of education curriculum. A cross-section of speakers at the workshop for secondary school students on information communication technology in teaching and learning as tool for girls emphasized the need for students to take up STEP courses. Correspondent Kunle Ojo completes the story.
According to experts, women make up only 28% of workforce in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics (STEM), while men vastly outnumber women majoring in most STEM fields in college. The gender gaps are particularly high in some of the fastest growing and highest paid jobs of the future, like computer science and engineering. Addressing students from selected secondary schools in Oyo State on information communication technology in teaching and learning as tool for girl empowerment, the director of ICT University of Ibadan, Abiodun Alao, emphasized the need for government to create enabling environment and ensure that schools are well funded. Also, Dr. Olajumake Akere said the knowledge of information communication and technology play a vital role in socio-economic development of any society, saying girls should be encouraged to take up STEM courses.
I think the major thing our government needs to do is to provide the enabling environment, and in so doing, the government will need to ensure that schools are well funded. I mean the finances. It's high time that we have a stream, or what they call line of intervention for ICT, just like it used to be for other aspects. So until the government really gives this attention, schools will continue to struggle and develop at their own space, at their own pace.
If we look at the 21st century, one of the skills that is very important for any individual to have is technology, information, communication, and technology skill. And we believe that there's gender imbalance in these professions. So we're saying we need more girls in STEM careers.
They appeal to students and other participants at the occasion to explore the world of ICT for their personal development and Nigeria at large. Participants at the event described the initiative as worthwhile and rewarding.
We want to encourage our government at the 3 tiers level, at the local level, the state and the national level, to incorporate and encourage our girls, to go for training on STEM, because you want to balance up with the male counterparts.
That technology is powerful. Technology is today. Technology was actually yesterday. Technology is tomorrow. So we have to empower our girls to be ready for the challenges of what we have, what the world really has in stock for tomorrow, to be able to develop things for ourselves.
From Ibadan, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
There have been an increase in the number of students that are out of school in Delta State, particularly in Warri, Uvie, and Uheli local government areas. This development has been a cause for concern for the federal government. Correspondent Dele Fasson tells us more in this report.
Despite the efforts of the federal government in ensuring that the number of out-of-school children are reduced to the barest minimum level, the number of out-of-school children continue to swell in parts of Delta State, particularly in Warri, Uvie, and Uheli local government areas. This, according to female lawyers in Warri under the International Federation for Women Lawyers FIDA, is exposing the girl child who helps their parents to sell different items in streets where they are supposed to be in school. Statistics, according to UNICEF, shows 1 in every 5 of the world's out-of-school children is from Nigeria, despite primary education officially free and compulsory. Although the Minister of Education, Adamu, said there is drastic improvement, saying out-of-school children has now reduced to 6.9 million compared to the 10.5 million declared by UNICEF. But the law still has to be done in checking the daily flooding of roads, highways by out-of-school children hawking. Some women lawyers who have vowed to take up the fight against out-of-school children and child abuse call on government at all levels to provide scholarship for parents, as the NBA promised free legal services in the fight against all forms of child abuse and molestation.
Creating sensitization, awareness for such parents and making them know their legal implications on those children for putting those children on the streets, why they are supposed to be in school, making them know, creating awareness, bottom line, to know that there are rules on ground for such acts.
Previously, there was what they call Edu Marshal. But you can see recently, we are no longer seeing that Edu Marshal. What happened? This is where government will come out. Let that Edu Marshal be enforced again. Well, whenever they see any child of school's age that is loitering or selling or doing street hawking, they will apprehend that child.
Support FIDA by helping in their pro bono services. We ensure that lawyers are given, when cases which they generate come before us, we ensure that lawyers take them up on pro bono basis. That is basically the best way of helping them.
When contacted on the resurgence of out-of-school children in Delta State, the Commissioner for Primary Education, Mr. Chika Osai, said the state government is planning the task force to check the menace, while some female lawyers urge the government to bring back the education marshal of the former governor, Emmanuel Uduaga's administration.
There are marshals that we are put in place by the different local governments to go around and monitor this menace in the society. And when they were acting, we found out that this street hawking stopped. But recently, we are not seeing the marshals again. So I will advise each local government chairman or council to surface these marshals again, put them in force, put them in place.
There is need for sensitization. We need to enlighten the parents, because some of these parents don't even understand what it takes and the effect, after effect and implication of some of those things. So we try as much as possible to sensitize these people. And that's why you see us most times on protests, on the road, trying to enlighten women in the market. That's for the women aspect, for the parental aspect of it.
The government should reach out to the children and their parents and take the children off the streets and give the children scholarships, because some parents are poor, they don't even have money to train these children.
The solution, according to UNICEF education program, is to support government in achieving SDG 4 by 2020 through improved planning, thereby addressing the systematic barriers that hinders effective education strategy. But the fact remains that if not properly checked before 2030, criminal activities may increase as a result of the increase in the number of children on the streets. From Warri Delta State Daily Fason, Galaxy News.
Governor Samuel Ortom of Benue State has appealed to Nigerians for support to help cushion the effect of the humanitarian crisis in the state, internally displaced persons camp (IDPs). The governor made the appeal at a separate Thanksgiving service and mass held at the St. Dominic Catholic Church, Saki, and St. Joseph's Kwasi Parish, Yon, to mark the birthday anniversary celebration of the Speaker, Benue State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Titus Uba, and the former Minister of Steel, Wantereg Paul Unongo, respectively. Governor Ortom acknowledged the support of the church, especially the Bishop of Makurdi Diocese, Wilfred Chikpa Anagbe, the governors of Rivers, Taraba, and Akwa Ibom State, donor, and other faith-based organizations, as well as individuals, to the plight of the over 1.5 million IDPs. The governor also called on Nigerians to continue to pray for President Muhammadu Buhari and other leaders in the country to enable them provide leadership that would engender peace and unity in the country. Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has said it was regrettable that 61 years after independence, Nigeria was still grappling with leadership challenges. The governor noted that because of such leadership failure, Nigeria was now at a point in its history needing God more than ever. Wike made the assertion near the interdenominational church service organized in commemoration of the 61st independence anniversary of Nigeria at the St. Paul's Anglican Church in Port Harcourt on Sunday. The governor noted that there is hardly anything for Nigerians to celebrate as the country marks 61st independence anniversary because its leadership continues to entrench hatred, mediocrity, and promote ethnicity and religion. The governor's remarks were contained in a statement by his media aide, Kelvin Ibiri, titled "Nigeria Suffering from Leadership Failure," and made available to newsmen in Port Harcourt. The governor noted that perhaps the only thing Nigerians can boast of celebrating is the existence of the name Nigeria. Governor Wike also observed the sorry state of Nigeria and said at 61, it is far removed from being a country that can compete favorably with prosperous countries of the world, given its abundant resources. The need for harmonious working relationship between security agencies and rescue workers in Nigeria has been stressed. Speakers at the passing out parade and commissioning of Course 2 Rescue Officers Southwest Zone held at Obafemi Awolowo Stadium maintained that lack of synergy between rescue officers and security agencies has been responsible for loss of innocent lives during emergency situations. The rescue team Marshal General Jayola Joseph and Adekunle Adesina from Rivers State said the state of the nation, with the spate of kidnapping, killings, armed robbery, and other violent crimes, called for sober reflection, and that all hands must be on the deck towards ensuring safety of Nigerians. They called on all Nigerians to be security conscious at all times, especially at this period, stressing that they should see they should see security agencies as a companion rather than enemy.
To work hand in hand with the security agencies in order to protect life from being trapped into any form of chaos, crisis, and disaster.
We are in charge of rescue, paramedic, and any society issue whereby we can be able to reduce crime to memory that it cannot be in existence again. That's our target.
This is Galaxy Television News. It's time for us to do a reminder of our top stories of the week. It is Tracking the Week.
Welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, the Federal Ministry of Education said over 1.57 million candidates are sitting for the 2021 West Africa Senior Secondary School Certificate examinations across Nigeria. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Sunday Ekono, made the disclosure while monitoring the conduct of the examination in one of the secondary schools in Abuja. According to him, the examination is holding in 19,000 centers across the nation, adding that the centers are complying with the ethics and standard of examination. Ekono expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the exams and said aside from the disrupted witness by candidates in the southeast, where some candidates were stopped from writing their exams, the 2021 WAS has been adjudged peaceful and stress-free. The Permanent Secretary, however, disclosed that the federal government is addressing incidences and cases of examination malpractice already recorded during the tertiary examination and would arrest any person found culpable. In a related development, the ministry reiterated that the Presidential Visitation Panel to the University of Lagos did not indict the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ogundipe, and the management of the university. The Permanent Secretary also made a clarification in Abuja. He said the information on the report of the Presidential Visitation Panel currently going on are false, unfounded, and mischievous. Also on Monday, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has signed the bill prohibiting open cattle grazing in the state into law. Sanwo-Olu, who assented to the bill during the State Executive Council meeting in Alausa on Monday, directed the security agencies to swing immediately into action and enforce provisions of the law. He said that by implication, it is now criminal in Lagos for cattle rearers to occupy unapproved public areas and private land with their livestock for grazing. The law also prohibits the act of moving cattle around public places by herders. The signing of the anti-open grazing law by the governor followed the decision of the Southern Governors Forum last August, setting the September deadline to pass the law across member states. There have been crises witnessed in some states resulting from alleged open grazing. Although farmer herder crisis is not pronounced in Lagos, the anti-open grazing law is expected to prevent the spillover of the menace into the state. On Tuesday, the President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the Senate to amend certain provisions of the controversial Petroleum Industry Act. The Joint National Assembly Committee that worked on the PIB has proposed a 5% equity share for the development of the host communities, but the Senate led the campaign for its reduction to 3%, while the House of Representatives approved the panel's recommendation. The conference committee, set up by the presiding officers of both chambers in their recommendation, fixed the equity share as 3% and was invariably approved by the National Assembly. The development generated into controversy, with senators from the South-South geopolitical zone kicking against it and asked Buhari to resolve the impasse by seeking amendments to increase the equity share to 5%. However, the new amendments proposed by the President did not address the concern of the South-South stakeholders. Rather, Buhari's fresh request centered basically on the need to review the administrative structure of the Upstream Regulatory Commission and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. Buhari is seeking the Senator's approval to increase the numbers of the non-executive board members of each of the regulatory agencies from 2 to 6 in order to capture the 6 geopolitical zones. Also on Tuesday, the House of Representatives have received a correspondence from President Muhammadu Buhari to amend the Petroleum Industrial Act 2021. Speaker of the House, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, read out Mr. President's letter at resumption on plenary on Tuesday. In the letter, President Muhammadu Buhari sought the appointment of non-executive board members, removal of the Ministries of Finance and Petroleum from the 2 institutions, and appointment of executive directors. Recall that President Buhari had earlier assented to the bill after it was passed and sent for assent by the National Assembly. The House, in another development, urged the Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning to give consideration to education in the subsequent budgetary allocations in order to attain the UNESCO projection by 2030. The House adopted the motion without debate and mandated the committees on tertiary education and services, basic education and services, youth development and appropriation to liaise with relevant stakeholders with the aim of providing lasting solutions to falling standard of education in Nigeria and report back within 4 weeks for further legislative action. Moving on to Wednesday, the Federal Executive Council (FEC) approved the sum of 1.39 billion for contract variation in the Ministry of Health and Water Resources. This was announced by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, while briefing correspondents on the outcome of the meeting. Mohammed, who was joined at the briefing by the Minister of State for Education, Chief Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, said the council approved an upward review of the contract for the emergency supply, installation and maintenance of the 38 oxygen plants all over the country in the sum of 836 million naira. Mohammed also briefed reporters on behalf of the Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, noting that 203 million naira was approved at the revised estimate cost for the consultant supervising Bagwai Water Dam irrigation project in Bagua local government area of Kano State. He said the Bagua Water Dam irrigation project in Bagua local government area of Kano State actually was awarded and commenced in 2005, and due to several logistic problems, the project is still on, and just recently the FEC actually approved an augmentation of the entire contract. Also briefing the Minister of State Education, Chief Chukwuemeka Nwajuba, said the council approved the sum of 121 million naira for the refurbishment of some of the dilapidated equipment and furniture at the Federal Polytechnic, Bauchi. Still on Wednesday, President Muhammadu Buhari in New York declared the federal government has initiated some specific action to tackle and reverse the severe trend of biodiversity loss which affects the whole world. The president spoke in a video meeting to the hybrid high-level event tagged Transformative Action for Nature and People on the margins of the 76th session of the United Nations General Assembly, aside championing regional and inter-regional cooperation towards addressing the scourge. President Buhari outlined the measures to include expansion of protected areas, including the establishment of 10 new national parks across the country, as well as the creation of marine protected areas pursuant to the 30 by 30 agenda by the Convention on Biodiversity, and domestication of relevant international agreements, conventions, as well as law and policies for the protection and conservation of biodiversity. He expressed gratitude to the President of Costa Rica, His Excellency Carlos Alvarado Quesada, whose country currently chairs the High Ambition Coalition for Nature and People, of which Nigeria is also a member, and co-chair, for the opportunity to be part of the great event. On Thursday, President Muhammadu Buhari has held a bilateral meeting at the margins of the United Nations General Assembly holding in New York, United States of America, with Her Majesty Maxina Zuregueta, Queen of the Netherlands, during which it said Nigeria was well aware of her limitations and thus prioritized the provision of infrastructure. He added that the country was hampered by resources despite being oil exporting, and with more financial wherewithal, infrastructural work would be sped up. President Buhari assured the Queen, who last visited Nigeria in 2017, that if she came again, she would see a lot of differences. In the area of agriculture, the President said Nigerian borders were closed with some neighboring countries to encourage farmers and eat what they grow. Queen Zuregueta lauded what she called the huge efforts made by Nigeria to combat the coronavirus pandemic, saying the country spent a great part of her GDP. She said she had huge commitment to Nigeria and would want to accompany the country to do more alongside other partners. Still on Thursday, the Nigerian police force arrested and paraded 3 notorious high-profile kidnapping suspects indicted in police investigation for the adoption of over 100 Bethel High School students in Kaduna State. While parading the suspects in Abuja, the force public relations officer, Commissioner of Police Frank Mba, said the arrest of the suspect follows unrelenting effort by the police to ensure perpetrators of the dastardly act are arrested and made to face the wrath of the law. Also paraded were some suspects involved in robbery, kidnapping, car theft, cattle rustling, murder, illegal possession of weapons, and illicit drug trade. One of the kidnappers, named Mohazu Abubakar, who confessed to the crime, revealed that 25 of them adopted students. Abubakar also said the desperate need for money propelled them to commit the crime. Another suspect was a 39-year-old Monday Akawo from Nasarawa State, who is known for stealing church equipment and later sold to the end users. Akawo said he usually dresses like a military personnel whenever he wants to transport the stolen equipment so that he won't be checked or suspected by uniformed men on his way. Also, the police paraded a 4-man gang led by Suleiman Bello, who was in possession of several cartons of hard drugs suspected to be tramadol. Bello said he was arrested between a border town of Nigeria and Niger. Finally, on Tracking the Week on Friday, President Muhammadu Buhari says the recent trend of unconstitutional takeover of power, sometimes in reaction to unilateral changes of constitution by some leaders, must not be tolerated by the international community. The president urged the international community not only to deal with the symptoms of conflict, but also the immediate causes that fuel conflicts in the first place, which include poor and undemocratic governance, human rights abuses, poverty, ignorance, injustice and inequalities. The president's speech, delivered from the podium of the General Assembly Hall, addressed other matters on the international agenda of interest to Nigeria, including the COVID-19 pandemic, arms trade treaty, climate change, reform, Palestinian question, racial discrimination, among others. On the issue of deaths in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Nigerian leader urged G20 countries to extend its debt suspension initiatives to all developing countries, least developing countries, small island developing states facing physical and liquidity challenges. The president also called for outright debt cancellation for countries facing the most severe challenges. On the fight against terrorism, the president told the United Nations General Assembly that the Nigerian security forces have recorded considerable success. He noted that while terrorism continues to dominate security disclosure worldwide in Nigeria, Boko Haram terrorist group, though fragmented by internal strife and weakened by defense forces, is still active and preying on soft targets. Lastly, on Friday, Minister for Information and Culture Lai Mohammed said all is set for the celebration of the 61st independence celebration of the country. Minister for Information and Culture, who addressed journalists on the readiness of the government for the event, said the event is to appreciate the efforts of Nigerian forebearers who pushed for the independence from the colonial masters. The minister, who was represented by the permanent secretary in the ministry, a former Anya Wutaku, said the celebration will avail government the opportunity to showcase its infrastructural revolution, which it embarked upon since the assumption to office. He highlighted the various activities rolled out by the federal government for the celebration. The minister said President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the lineup of activities for the anniversary celebration. And that's it from Tracking the Week.
It is now time for us to join our international desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. At least 3 people have been killed and 50 others hurt after a train come off the tracks in the state of Montana. Several carriages from the Amtrak Empire Builders passenger service derailed at about 4 p.m. local time near the town of Joplin. Images on social media show train cars on the side and luggage strewn on the ground with people standing nearby. Amtrak said there were some 141 passengers and 16 crew aboard the Chicago to Seattle service. Passenger Megan Vandervest, who was heading to see a friend in Seattle, told journalists she was woken up by the derailment, which felt like extreme turbulence on a plane. Wayne Freed said he was in the lounge car, one of those that flipped on its side, but was able to grab hold of a coffee table bolted to the floor. Rescuers have been working to evacuate passengers, Amtrak said. In a tweet, State Senator Steve Daines said he was closely monitoring the situation. I am thankful for the first responders already on the scene and praying for the safety of all involved, he added. The United States National Transportation Safety Board has launched an investigation into the incident. Though derailments of Amtrak trains are rare, there have been several in recent years. In 2018, 3 people were killed when an Amtrak train traveled onto the wrong track and hit a parked freight train. 5 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli army during overnight military raid that led to armed confrontations on Sunday in the Jenin and Jerusalem area of the occupied West Bank. Mohamed Layel, spokesman for the Palestinian Health Ministry, confirmed to newsmen the killing of 3 Palestinians from the village of Bidu, northwest Jerusalem, will be identified by their families as Ahmad Zarar, Mahmoud Maidan, Zakaria Badwan. Israel forces also killed 2 residents from the village of Bokin, southwest of Jenin city, will be identified as 22-year-old Osama Sobo and 16-year-old child Yusuf Sobo. According to Israel media, 2 Israeli soldiers were seriously injured during the armed confrontations and have been hospitalized. Layel told newsmen that the bodies of the 3 Palestinians from Bidu are in Israeli army custody, while Osama Sobo from Jenin died at the Ibn Sina hospital in Jenin. According to official Palestinian news agency, Osama Sobo was killed after Israel forces raided Bakwin and surrounded one of the homes, leading to a gun battle with the army. Zaran, Maidan and Badwan were killed during an armed confrontation with the Israeli army after it raided the town of Beit Anan near Bidu. Israeli media said the army raids aimed to arrest Amman's operatives. According to Zaran's family, Israeli forces have been chasing him for weeks, including with previous army raids on their home, arrest and interrogation of family members. In a statement, the PA Prime Minister Mohamed Shtayyeh mourned the 5 Palestinians, patience and solace to their families and close ones, and freedom to our people from this criminal occupation and its continuous violation against our people, the statement said. Still on the international sense, hundreds of protesters have rallied in Tunisia's capital to protest against President Kais Saied's move to seize governing powers. Demonstrators gathered on Sunday in the center of Tunis along Habib Bourguiba Avenue under a heavy police presence to demand his resignation, chanting, "The people want the fall of the coup." Hundreds of protesters have rallied in Tunisia's capital to protest against President Kais Saied's move to seize governing power. Brushing aside much of the 2014 constitution, Said gave himself the power to rule by decree on Wednesday, 2 months after sacking the prime minister, suspending parliament and assuming executive authority. About 2,000 people attended the rally in front of the iconic National Theatre, historically home to all the major demonstrations in Tunis. About 20 global and Tunisia's human rights group issued a statement on Saturday condemning the move as a power grab. The signatories argued the decree, which strengthens the power of the president's office at the expense of those of the prime minister and parliament, is implicitly abrogating the constitutional order, is a step toward.
Our happiest moments with babies are playtimes. Interrupting our game to change diapers would have made us both unhappy. Fortunately, we have Morphix bands. With its elastic band that can stretch in all ways to fit well on babies, it does not lose its form, does not sag, so there's no need to change diapers frequently. Our games continue. Happiness movement spreads rapidly in all houses. Come on, mothers. Try Morphix bands. Join our happiness movement.
Authoritarianism. Lastly, on the international scene, moving on to Europe, the fight to succeed popular long-serving Chancellor Angela Merkel could barely be tighter as Germans vote in parliamentary elections. While the streets of Berlin hosted the annual marathon, the biggest race was taking place across the country. The 3 candidates vying to succeed the Chancellor voted in warm late summer sunshine. As final polls, Mrs. Merkel's Conservatives in second place. At stake is the leadership of Europe's most powerful economy. More than 60 million Germans over 18 are eligible to vote, and long queues were reported outside polling stations in Berlin. Voting ends at 6 p.m. and the first exit polls in the unpredictable elections come out immediately. The race looked over until the outgoing chancellor entered the fray in support of the conservative candidate. Her career at the third sweep of Germany's politics, now weeks from coming to an end, she said it really matters who is in power. She warned voters repeatedly in the 48 hours before the vote. Her message was that Germany needed stability and its youth needed a future, and Armin Laschet was the man to provide it. And that's it from news from the international scene.
And now to round off this bulletin, let's take you to our entertainment news.
Ms. Abuja Oluchi Madubike has emerged winner of the Most Beautiful Girl in Nigeria MBGN 2021. Meanwhile, rapper Rugged Man is a year older today, September 20, and has released new photos to mark the day. Meanwhile, still celebrating, Nigerian actress Dakore Egusin Akonde celebrates first child as she turns 10 today. In another news, legendary television figure whose full name is RuPaul Charles on Sunday night, September 19, made Emmy history by becoming the most awarded person of color in the show's history with 11 wins. Popular Nollywood star Etinosa has been thrown into mourning following the tragic death of her beloved father, engineer S.O. The actress took to her Instagram page with a blank post through which she expressed the pain and grief she's passing through. Yemi Sholade and his beautiful wife Hannah are celebrating another wedding anniversary today, Tuesday, September 21, 2021. Meanwhile, update on Big Brother Naija on Monday introduced a twist to the reality show. Big Brother addressing the housemates cancelled nominations and head of house games instead of nomination process. The housemate had to participate in the ultimate vector power game. Also, veteran Nollywood actress Peter Doche's son Uche has contracted COVID-19 and taken to social media to share scary experience. Also, tragedy strikes as it's indeed a sad and trying times for the family of veteran Nigerian musician King Sunny Ade, who has just lost one of his wife, Risikat Ajoke Adegeye.
Much-loved Nollywood actress Eniola Badmus has more than enough reasons to celebrate as she marks her 20th anniversary in the entertainment industry. Davido's official photographer, Fortunate Umane Peter, is dead. Nigeria dancer Kafayat Shafal, popularly known as Kafi, has lost her dad. Kafi shared the sad news on Instagram with a caption that read, "R.I.P. Dad." The Shine Your Eye housemates were left confused on Tuesday night after Nina went surprisingly missing. However, the worst hit appears to expectedly be her love interest, Saga, who did not take the Big Brother prank quite well. Former U.S. President Donald Trump is suing his niece and the New York Times over 2018 article that alleged it was involved in dubious tax scheme. Nigerian superstar Wizkid has grabbed most nominations for this year's edition of the All African Music Awards Afrima 2021. Maven record singer, songwriter and guitarist Korede Bello Afropop tune Do Like That has been certified gold in the United States of America. Prince Joseph Popogri, the estranged lover of Tonto Dike, has dragged the actress and Department of State Service DSS before a high court in Abuja, seeking the enforcement of the fundamental rights. Dancehall singer Cynthia Morgan turned a year older today as she shared new photos in celebration of her new age. Baby Naija Shine Your Eye housemate Nini has now returned to the Big Brother house after being away for 24 hours while carrying out a task given to her.
Nollywood veteran and thespian Olu Jacobs is one of the aged icons in the movie industry who has paid his dues over the years. The septuagenarian was recently spotted in a video that won the heart of many Nigerians online. Actress Nche Jumbo took to her Instagram page with a video which showed the moment Jacob paid his wife Joket Silva a surprise visit on set. Meanwhile, the founder of Deeper Life Bible, Chuck Williams Folorunsho Kumoyi, stormed Abuja for a church crusade in an expensive whip worth millions of naira, and this has got social media buzzing. Also trending is popular Nollywood actress Tonto Dike, who is obviously not one to go down without a fight, as she has involved a well-known dancer, Jen Maynard, in a drama with her ex-boyfriend Prince on social media. His American singer Jason Derulo and his girlfriend Jenna Frooms has ended their relationship 4 months after giving birth to their son.
And with those entertainment stories, we'll end the news for this time. Thank you so much for watching the news on Galaxy Television. I'm Solomon Offem. Bye-bye.